Hi, everybody. Welcome to the PHNX Rising Show, brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook app. I'm Ramon Chavez, and alongside me today is taking it to the max, Max Simpsons. How you doing today, sir?
Hey, I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. I'm trying to figure out. There you go. I had the ESPN Plus app up, and that's why I was making all the noise. But how you feeling about your first show, man? Glad to have you here.
Dude, man, likewise.
Second show, actually.
Yeah, no, you're good, man. It's good, man. It was. I feel we kind of started on a real kind of bummer after the first show, just because riding after that loss and kind of going here and there. But it's good, man. Happy to be a part, filling in for Owen. Which, man, I thought he was going to be out of commission. I heard his voice during the press conference today. You can't keep that man away. We can't keep him away. We thought we could. We knew we couldn't. But no, man, I'm glad to be here. Glad to be talking more.
Yeah. For those that are wondering, and thank you for bringing that up, Max. Owen had some surgery today, and so hopefully he's back. And he's in good spirits. We definitely saw him, but hopefully he's back by Thursday. But yeah, he just had some surgery, and that's why he's out today. I think this is the first time he's missed the show the entire time we've done the PHNX Rising show. So it shows how much commitment he has. So applause to Owen there. But yeah, we have a great show for you guys today. Obviously, we're going to talk a little bit about what happened on Saturday against Oakland, Rising, of course, losing 2-0 at Wild Horse Pass. We got some team updates today from Juan Guerra. We're also going to hear his thoughts on what happened on Saturday, what led ultimately to the loss against Oakland. And then Max, I see you're wearing a certain type of shirt there, having with a certain type of team.
You being a Man U fan, man, I knew I wasn't gonna have long for this one. Okay, so listen, I want to put Saturday was a couple days away. I wanted to put myself in the mood of what's it? How can I remember a 2-0 loss? Perfect. I'm gonna wear a Spurs kit because we lost 2-0 this morning. Man, it's really one of those things. I was following on Fought Mob how we were, it was 90th minute and we were down 0, 1-0. And I looked and I was like, there's like a couple minutes of stoppage time left. I had just gotten off a meeting. Let me tune in for the last stoppage time, see if there's a winner. This has not happened in the longest time. I literally pull up YouTube TV. Yeah. I turn on the channel, and literally as it pulls up the image, Sporting goes in the box and scores 3 seconds later. I literally turn on and immediately the second goal hits, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. So, been a Spurs fan for too long. Not proud of it. We'll see how we do this year. But anyway, I'm trying to put myself in the mindset of a little misery, a little despair to get into the mood for, this pod.
That's understandable. But yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later on for sure. But glad to have you here.
Yeah.
All right. So Max, let's just get into it. So yeah, Rising fell this Saturday. I know a lot of people, Bonnie here in the chat says that she doesn't really want to talk about the Oakland Roots. We have to, at least a little bit. But let's hear what Juan Guerra had to say in today's press conference on ultimately what led to the loss against Oakland. So let's hear what Juan Guerra had to say.
For a while, I think obviously Oakland came over here ready to fight since minute one. I'm not saying our guys were not ready. They were ready as well. An early goal, man. An early goal that changes the game very much. Then our guys they try their best. They try to build. They try to go forward. We built some momentum after that. The guys kept fighting, and I actually think when we were the closest, I'll say, in the first half to tie the game, their second goal comes. So I believe it's the same play. We hit the post, and then they get it, and then after that play, they find themselves with a 2-0 lead. So obviously, listen, it's the end of the day. I know the standards that we need to have. I understand the things that we need to get done. There's a lot of work that we need to do, and I also know that we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. We have to keep working. We have to make sure that we keep introducing concepts. We keep tweaking things and fixing situations that can help us be successful.
All right, Max. So what do you think of Juan's comments here regarding the game on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think he hit it pretty much right on the head, right? Like, Rising didn't come out flat. They did come out with a lot of energy. The game was incredibly physical very early on. Oakland really matched that, and I think they just honestly brought it a bit more. They were a bit sharper in those attacking moments. Really something that he said a little bit later in the press conference was, struggled in the attacking third, and they really took advantage in those transition moments. And I really think that was the difference of the game. Like I mentioned on Saturday, that second goal, it bounces off the woodwork, and 30 seconds later, it's in the back of Rising's net. That really was the difference for today. I mean, for all the talk about how poorly the team played, I don't think it was a lack of not wanting it. I don't think it was a lack of not understanding the moment. I think it was, you could blame it on probably a combination of nerves, maybe some other factors, but I mean, all in all, they just got outplayed in the areas where it mattered most.
Yeah, no, and I agree. And that one play where Greg Hurst hits the post, that was, hey, that was, I think, the best play that Rising was able to build up in the first half. But right after that, literally a transition, a counterattack, Oakland just took advantage, man. And that's the difference, sometimes in the games where there's a team like Oakland who's, just to be frank, they're not one of the best teams in the USL, right, but they're able to get in the box. They're able to create chances, and ultimately they're able to put away chances. And that's something that Rising has not been able to do the entire season. And that's where they're at. At the bottom of the Western Conference. So yeah, it was tough to see. I don't like, and just to add to your point where, I don't think Rising was lacking the heart and the passion. They come out, they're professionals, they want to win, obviously, but it just comes down to those little mistakes. Defensively on the first goal, nobody comes out to stop Mfeka taking that long range shot, the transition moment in the second goal. And then after that, it was just such a big hill to climb that Rising was not able to do it. And to Thomas's point here, yeah, you had the Babu hitting the post, you had a Calistri cross in the box where Santimor was not able to put it near the goal, and the Greg Hurst post. Those are three clear chances that if you make one or two, you're right back in it. But Rising just this season, again, they just haven't been able to put those away.
No, for sure. And I mean, it's kind of going a bit deeper into that, like, lack of creativity in the attacking third. That's really what it was. Is you kind of saw, it was either going to be, you play it out to either winger, it's going to be a cross in, you only have one or two runs going in the box. There's straight runs. There's no, mixing and matching. Hey, let me tease you near post, but then go back far post. It was just, it's so predictable. And for a team, even before you take the lead, if you're going to run predictable runs, if you're not going to get creative in it, you're going to then hope, okay, if I'm not going to be able to penetrate much in the box, I got to take a lot of shots. And while they did, Oakland was just much better than Rising at getting out, stopping the shots from outside the box. They were quicker at closing down. And that's, part of where the difference was. Like, I think Rising, they weren't bad in the midfield. Like, for all the time, they owned possession. They were spraying the ball around. I think we won the midfield battle. I really do. But it was the lack of creativity on offense. And then to Juan Guerra's point about that transition, I mean, man, so many times, it didn't lead to goals, but we're just getting stretched in the back. Our center backs, they look slow. I mean, when you're playing kind of that high line and you're pressing for that first goal, that second goal after they score, you're going to leave yourself vulnerable to chances. But it's just, it wasn't a lack of awareness for the situation, like he said, but it's just, you have to be a bit more inventive, and they just didn't show that, and it just showed the entire night.
Yeah, in the second half, they made some adjustments where they said, you know what, we're going to put Lambert in the back. We're going to just play with three or maybe even two at the back most of the time, and that left them vulnerable to several counterattacks. And I think they did a fairly good job on stopping those. But when you have that many people up in your attacking half and you're still unable to create chances or dangerous chances, that just speaks to what type of team that's currently out there. I think, one of the things, and now this is my next question, Max. One of my frustrations for me is the lack of creativity on the wings. I feel like whenever it's either Babu or whoever's on the other side, or Tua Rodriguez in the first half of Saturday's game, there's just no creativity. There's no danger. You leave the striker by himself, and where you're just putting in crosses all the time, it makes it very difficult, first of all, for the striker to be effective. And as much as I love Greg Hurst, when you do not provide him service or get him involved with the play, there's little that he's going to be able to do. Now, when JJ Williams came in, he brings that physicality. He was that big guy winning those balls in the air. But still, other than that, there's little that the strikers can do if the wings are not providing service and being creative. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, 100%. And I great hit on JJ. I definitely want to touch on him because I think I will say on Saturday, and I get it. We were all caught up in the loss. We understood what the ramifications meant. It was a lot of doom and gloom. It was a lot of negativity, and rightfully so. I do want to touch on, I will touch on in a second that I really think when he came on was one of the bright spots and one of those difference makers where he actually gave us a chance. But, going back to your question about the winger play, I mean, I think when you are operating in the half space as much as Rising does, especially, in a Juan Guerra system, you have to be, if you're not able to drive down and cross the ball, which we saw this past game, they really weren't able to. You have to be able to come up with more creative runs in behind, whether that's, a 1-2, find that space, lay it back off across the goal, whether it's, hey, I'm going to circulate it into, strikers' feet, play off them. You have to get more creative. And if you're not willing to make those runs, if you're not willing to put in a good service, it just shuts down the different channels you can operate in. Like Rising's best chances when they came, they were coming from, you're finding her, you're playing the ball into hers, finding his feet. He's either able to lay it off, or he had a couple where he turned and shot. And I believe that was at least one of them where it went off the woodwork. That was their best chance, where they're playing feet, let him, little do a dance to turn, and then you find him. But none of that really resulted from the winger play. It was kind of just like find his feet, let your number 9 go to work. It's not a quick fix. That's the really tough part, is like that half space in the winger play. You really have to be incredibly dynamic. And when you don't really know, they're professionals, but it seems like when you don't really know what you're going to do when you get in that space, you have to be incredibly fast. It's either I'm going to make that play, I'm driving down the end line, or I'm going to circulate the ball and I'm going to keep running. But when you're just holding the ball, he beats one guy or two, but that's all you do, man. Like it's got to be a bit sharper.
Yeah, no, and I agree, and especially on that left flank when you have Babu, when you have Santi Moore, I just don't know if the chemistry is there with those two guys. And I don't want to be all doom and gloom today, but those are one of the things that I've noticed. Now it's been a few games since they played together on the left flank side. Whenever Babu is dribbling, I don't know if this is a tactical, thing that Juan Guerra is letting them know, but Santi kind of waits. He waits. He doesn't make the run. And when you don't make that run, you're not stretching the defense. You're not making the defense work hard, because then the defense can just be planted with you. They're just waiting to see what Babu can do. And we've all seen Babu when he's running with the ball, when he's dribbling, straight line, perfect. One of the best guys, I think, in USL. But when it comes to being creative and beating his man, I think that's when he's lacking a little bit of, that finishing touch, whether it's beating his defender, putting the right cross in, putting a good cross in, or connecting with either Santi or whoever's in the box. And I think that's really stifling Phoenix's offense. And it just, I think it just comes down to chemistry, working on it throughout the week, and making sure that those guys make those runs. Because if Santi Moore makes those runs in the box, or he overlaps him, it opens a spot for someone like Aiden Quinn, like Luis Seijas, to kind of come in and maybe do, a shot from the like a mid-range shot, something like that, or even, just confuse the defense. That's what it's all about. The defense knows what Rising's going to throw at them, and they're just happy to wait back. They're going to let them make the mistake, and then they're going to hit you on the counterattack. That's what's been happening.
No, what exactly? And I mean, listen, I saw Michael's comment come through, where it's like he's basically dribbling right into players. And like I said, that's what I saw a lot of it in the first half, where he's going to beat one guy. He might even beat the second guy, but and I will give him credit. That dribbling and some of those, like being able to operate in those tight spaces, that is incredibly skillful, very much needed. But it kind of goes back to that role of the winger. If you can't do anything afterwards and you just try to beat the entire team in those tight spaces, you'll be able to, you might get by one or two, but you then have to find that next outlet of, when I get to that space, when I arrive at the moment, what do I do? And it just felt that he just didn't understand where to operate in that space. And going back to Santi, I mean, I think I really would like to see him a bit more on, those half spaces, right? Like, I think if he's able to kind of play in that bit more of the distributor, the more creative role, I mean, listen, he's been kind of lost all season. Like, we've all seen that. I'm not going to say that's going to be a quick fix, but I worry that if he's not playing with the ball a bit more at his feet, and if he's not, or if he's not able to run it behind, if he's kind of in that middle ground where he is, I think you're just going to kind of see more performances where it's, okay, we haven't said his name in 20 minutes. He hasn't really gotten touches on the ball. Where do we go from here? And you got to get in, at the end of the day, you got to get your best players the ball and put them in a position to succeed. And I don't know if it was a lack of instruction, since Juan wasn't there that night or whatever, but it just seemed like they were kind of late to adjust on offense.
Yeah, no, I really did want to see maybe switching Arturo, put Arturo in Santi's spot, create, I think Arturo with the ball, he's a little bit more creative than maybe Santi could be, especially in those half spaces. So making that change and putting Santi on the right flank and then bringing Arturo to work with Babu, I think that's something I would have liked to see a little bit earlier. I know they did make some changes and some adjustments, but hopefully we're able to see that in the next game. All right, no more doom and gloom, Max. What are some things that you actually liked about the game? Some performances I did enjoy. Greg Hurst in the first half. I know he only played 45 minutes. I would have liked to see a little bit more, but I understand why he was subbed out. But was there anybody else that you were really comfortable seeing or that you liked?
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, I think to your point, like I think we were all kind of saying it after the game. We would have liked to see, Babu come off, have Santi shift into his spot, maybe do like a 2-striker up top. I know that's a bit unconventional for them, but I think at that point, when you're really chasing like that 1-2 goal deficit, it could help. But no, I liked his play. Like I said, he did a really nice job of, you are receiving the ball in a tight space, often with his back to goal. And when I was looking at, because we were right down behind the goal, we got a clear shot of it. You have like one or two guys on his back, and you're thinking, there's not really anyone for him to lay it off with. How is he going to buy time? And to his credit, more often than not, he would almost dribble back, take a step back. He'd be able to lay it off. He would be able to shield it for a second. And the one that went off the woodwork, he kind of created that chance for himself. Something that, with that really stifling defense and being down 1-0 at the time, he did a really nice job of operating in those spaces. And then, like we said, JJ Williams, he made an immediate difference. It was very interesting how in the first half, a lot of how Rising played was through the middle, spray it out to the wing, through the middle, spray it out to the wing, occasionally play Hurst feet, but it was very much pass here, pass there, which is fine, but it was very much on a slow buildup of possession. They were looking for the perfect ball, and I think that's kind of what hampered them. As soon as JJ Williams comes on the second half, vertical, over the top, feed the big man, let him run onto things. They're putting in much more crosses into the air. He got his head on a couple of them. One of them, he had a pretty clear look, somewhere in like the 60th minute or so, that he had a pretty wide open shot. He headed it back the way it came, kind of across goal. I really don't know how he didn't get that on frame. Yeah. But he just made a immediate difference. And he was one of those guys where you saw him go on and you saw what he was doing. He was a game changer. And it's like, we keep on feeding him. Maybe there's a little bit more time in the game. He could have made a difference. And maybe, you bring him in and it's a 1-0 game instead. I think you're maybe thinking that it could have gone different. I'm not saying that there isn't room for the serious concerns that we had, but he really did make that big of a difference to me. And then really lastly, we talked about it a bit, but Lambert, when he did shift to the back, I don't like that as a permanent solution at all, because I think he's so valuable in the midfield. But he really showed that as they started going long, they're relieving pressure on their end. They're trying to punish us by committing men forward. Anytime they put a ball in behind, I'm just not worried when he's back there, because he has the legs for it. And, I know Juan Guerra touched on this on his press conference, but like, there's a reason that he is getting called in to the Jamaican national team, and he's not playing for a particularly good USL team, especially when you see other players on that international roster coming from the Premier League, coming from the Championship, to be able to earn a call up like that just shows the type of player he is, even in a down season. So, it makes sense. He's always one of our pretty consistent performers, and I think he had another really good game, especially where you're not in your most ideal position.
Yeah, I agree. Lambert was one of the bright spots for me, in the second half. He kind of just took control of the back line. He said, hey, guys, I know we're going to push up. I'm going to do my thing. You guys, try to do your thing on your end. And exactly, whenever there was a counterattack or there was a ball in the air, Lambert's there. He's got it. His composure on the ball, his tactical awareness is second to none in this league. And yeah, and that's one of the reasons he's getting called up to the Jamaican national team. Now, now that we're talking about that, Max, let's talk about that for a second, because the defense is pretty thin as it is. Joe Farrell's going to miss the game on Saturday against San Diego. We have Darnell King returning, so hopefully that's going to help the back line. But Lambert has also been called up to the Jamaican national team, and so they're scheduled to play Argentina on September 27th. So that's going to be one of your key components in the midfield, and one of your guys you can shift in the back line. That's going to be missing in the stretch of the season where, Rising's not playing great, but they still mathematically have a chance to make it into the playoffs. So what are your thoughts on this? And is this going to really hurt Rising coming, with these games coming up?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it takes a massive, a soccer expert of any level to know, like, if you're missing your best players, if you're missing key depth at any position, especially in the defense, it's going to be a tough adjustment. I mean, I think the thing that Juan talked about in his presser today was that San Diego, they play, as we've seen, they play a very, very up tempo, a very direct. Yeah, we're going to hit you. We're going to hit you in like Oakland, hit you in transition, but much more ruthlessly. And I already worried how it was before Lambert shifted back there. If we don't have him back there, if we don't have, to your point, other guys who are suspended, it's going to be interesting how you counteract that. I personally, maybe you go to, more of a back four route with maybe more like defensive help. I don't like the idea of having, center backs who are already thin on depth, isolated one versus one against some of their speedy attackers. I think it's you can say it's a team effort, which it is, but man, this is where the guys show up who really want to play and be a part of this future, because it comes hot and heavy.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough, with Lambert leaving. He's going to be missing the Sacramento game, which is on September 28th, and may possibly miss the October 1st game, which is against the Red Bulls at home. So a key component going to be missing. Another player that we just got the news in the presser today, Max, was that Marcus Fracrane has been called up to the under 20 U.S. men's national team. They're going to be playing in Mexico City in the Revelations Cup. So that tournament's going to take place at the end of September as well. So that's going to definitely affect, the team as well. Marcus did play on Saturday, but, now you're missing two guys, and if you're getting these yellow cards or suspensions, it's going to put you in a really deep hole if more defensive guys are missing from your lineup, because I feel with the defense, you really need to let them gel. Defense is all about chemistry, taking control of the back and making sure that everybody's working or synchronized and playing correctly. So, it's going to be tough. Now I'm happy for him that he's getting called up. That just shows the type of guy that he is. He's a blue chip prospect, but yeah, it's going to be tough. And so I'm thinking maybe even Babu, might be played back again, just because I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with Calistri playing in that spot or anybody else. So it's going to be tough these upcoming weeks because the defense is definitely going to be thin. So we'll see what happens with that. I do want to point out as well that it is Carlos Anguiano's birthday today. So shout out to him. I don't know if he watches the show or anything, but he follows me on IG. He's checking out my stories. Nice. Yeah, right. But yeah, he's turning 23 today. Now, Anguiano hasn't, played a lot of the season. I don't know if you've gotten to see a lot of his performances this year, Max. But how do you feel about him? Have you gotten the chance to see, what he's made of when he's on the field?
Yeah, no, and fair shout. No, truthfully, I'll admit I haven't seen him as readily available. But yeah, would love to hear what you have seen.
Yeah, so this season he's only played 6 games. One of them was a start. I believe it was in the U.S. Open Cup against Sacramento. But the thing is that he's always on the bench. He's always in the 18, at least most of the time. So I think that kind of speaks to, the volume of player that he is, the quality that he has. He did play with Tacoma Defiance the last year. So there's obviously quality there. But I feel maybe in the position that he plays, being 5'6", it doesn't make it easy to win in the midfield. But, and I think given how the season has played out, I don't think he's been given too many opportunities. So,
And I was gonna say, like, I don't know. I don't want to focus too much on the height thing, but I personally just don't know if we're spanning out and kind of going broad. I don't even know if I really buy that from like a midfield perspective, because you see all types of players, especially in the midfield, whether you have like 5'6" or you have Lambert, who's 6 feet. Gosh, what is he, like 6'4", 6'5"? Like he's up there. Like, I think at that level, as long as you're able to fit the system and kind of go with what he operates now. I mean, I think especially against San Diego, if you're looking for, more of that, you're gonna really have to be able to have guys who are pressure resistant, especially with playing like a really quick system and just being able to, hey, it's going to come fast. We can't get beat on the counter. You need to be able to hold on the ball and circulate possession. If the possession how it was against Oakland, you know, there's a good shout, but we just got to be able, like, if he's going to be up to the task, I'm fine with that. But, you know, he's just got to be able to know it's going to be coming very quickly against San Diego.
Yeah, and he looks comfortable on the ball too whenever he's played. So, you know, he's got to be ready, especially if you're one of the guys that are in the 18, you got to be ready to play. Whatever the situation, you got to be ready to step up. All right, Max, let's take a quick break and talk about our friends at OGs. You know all about these promotions, right? So one of my favorite ones is the Flavor in Life sweepstakes with OGs, because not only because it's a great promotion for people here that can get some free stuff from our friends at OGs, but also we get to see Owen. I was gonna say Owen's face, but Derek's face in the promo, because Derek's always smiling here on the Flavoring Life sweepstakes. So if you haven't yet, make sure to sign up for the Flavoring Life sweepstakes. If you're the winner, you will receive 3 bags of OGs, including orange creamsicle and tropical flavors. And OGs had a PHNX shirt of your choice and a PHNX annual membership. I'm not sure if we have the graphic today for that one, but you know, you should see Derek smile. It's the best smile.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Hey.
Yo, look at Derek.
Yeah. So fun fact, like I was at him at that pool party at my day club, and dude, Derek is a very happy guy, and like I just love that he just like kind of embraces life, which he does flavor life. But no, on the real, like he's just such a happy guy. And oh man, dude, he was just like we were vibing, man, having a good time. Like the OGs were hitting pretty darn nicely, and like that's really when I got introduced to shirtless Derek for the first time. And let me tell you, that's a different animal right there. But no, dude, it's a fun time. And as a producer Shane, if you get back to here, so we got a couple different flavors of OGs. Got a little raspberry orange, got a little Pina Colada Summer Edition.
That's the one.
Their little microdose. You can tell that I'm the partnerships guy, because I got that. I keep that thing on me. No, dude, but we love OGs. I'm not okay. Oh, yeah, I'm not smiling like Derek. We understand, dude, because you had a root canal. Of course, you're not smiling.
And
like
he's
Derek.
watching a 4-hour council meeting for fun. So,
I would hope not. No, man, but we love OGs. Great people. Flavoring Life sweepstakes is awesome. And I don't think actually any of the other shows announces, so I'll give it a little secret. They are going to be putting in the works a little like CBD, little nighttime gummy line. So yeah. So there'll be more information to come, but you heard it here first. So we love them as partners, and they got great stuff. And
you guys
check out their website. Check them out at Instagram, OG's Brands on Instagram, and must be 21 years or older to enjoy their products.
That's right. And if you guys want to sign up for the Flavoring Life sweepstakes, just remember to go to our website, gophnx.com, or click the link in our show notes in order to join the sweepstakes. Free stuff it's never bad. All right, Max, let's take a look at what happened around the USL this weekend. A lot of fun stuff. One of the games that I was looking forward to seeing, and I'm glad Owen's here in the chat with us today, but it was the Orange County versus LA Galaxy 2 game. And, obviously, I don't know if you know too much about the situation that's been going on with Championship Soccer Stadium and all that stuff, but let's get your thoughts on it first. What do you think of the whole situation with LA Galaxy trying to, kind of get their way into the stadium where Orange County has been for a very long time? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, short answer, not a good look. Long answer, it's not a good look. I mean, like, I think I know Owen has talked about the very technical aspects of this, and it is not an opportune situation at all for LA Galaxy, putting Orange County in the position that they're in. If I'm going to get all hippy dippy, honestly, the fact that this is supposed to be the grassroots-esque level of professional soccer, American soccer, and the fact that these things are happening where, oh, hey, we're trying to encroach on your stadium. Yes, there's a World Cup angle in it involved, but it just rubs the wrong way, especially with, to Owen's point, who the heck cares about LA Galaxy 2? LA Galaxy is the big ticket. Why try to leverage this for your second team full of reserves? It's just not a good look for the league. Hey, we're not going to say it looks as bad as Vegas' situation. I know we already covered that on Saturday with their pitch, but no, it's just, it just kind of really is a tough look for the league when they really have made so much progress over the years that things like this, it kind of just gets into the ecosystem. It's just not favorable for them.
Yeah, and to Thomas's point, in the chat, there you go. If you want to read the
there
MLS,
there it is.
That's what it's all about. At the end of the day, whether you sugarcoat it or not, that's what it's all about. And I'm not a fan of the way it's been, going about it. Orange County has built a system and a community, has an academy, that just won the championship last year. So you can't really say, well, they don't really win. They don't really fill out the stadium. They sold out the stadium last Saturday, and they had a huge sign saying that they want to stay here. And that's why a lot of them are at the city council meeting right now in Irvine, California, because they love their team, and when you talk about grassroots soccer, you create that community. And when you have this big conglomerate coming in and kind of just pushing their weight around, it just doesn't look good, honestly. And and I don't know what their PR people are thinking, saying, hey, why is this coming out to light? It's not a good look for them. And I to me, it's like, you have that much money, why not find another place, build your own community somewhere else that's not where Orange County already is, and it doesn't look good. But speaking of the game on Saturday, Orange County was able to make a statement. They did win 1-0. A lot of passion out there, and I love to see that. I don't know if you were able to catch the highlights, Max, but yeah, that was a great game to see, and for Orange County to get that victory.
Nice. Yeah, no, it's especially this time of the season. I know that table implications a bit different for them, but I think in light of how the situation, it's always good to get a win, especially in kind of those circumstances. So, honestly, hats off to them.
Yeah, for sure. Another game, obviously we talked about it on Saturday, Las Vegas Lights versus Monterey. It had to be postponed due to some issues with the field. If you haven't looked up the pictures, they're all over Twitter on Owen's feed, so make sure to check them out there. But yeah, from my understanding, or what I heard the last thing, I don't know, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, it was a pipe burst that caused the issue with the field. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I haven't heard too much about the rescheduling, but now we got to wait a little bit more on that situation in that game. So another game that caught my eye was San Antonio. They got the victory over San Diego, 1-0 victory. That was a 1 versus 2 matchup. So those are always a good time. And San Diego, they got the loss, and now they got to bounce back against Rising. So do you think that's going to affect them too much this late in the season? They're still top of the table basically. So I'm not sure that's
honestly, even if they won, like barring an amazing stretch by them and an absolutely epic collapse by San Antonio, there really wasn't implications for the top spot. I would say not really. Like, maybe they'll have a chip on their shoulder, but I feel at this point in the season, kind of where they are, you're fine. You don't really have to play for much. Like, you're going to play honestly just to win, sharpen up, and be ready for the postseason on their end. I don't think it's going to do much to them.
Yeah, that was San Diego's third consecutive loss. So I'm sure Landon Donovan, the rest of the team, and they're going to come out hyped. They're going to, they want even though they already kind of have that their playoff spot secure in a way, they still want to get those W's and those 3 points. So we'll be sure to expect that on Saturday. So those were the most important matchups, at least on my end. But yeah, if you guys want to check them out, go to the USL website, check out all the scores, all the highlights. They got them there. All right, Max, let's talk about your team today with the Champions League. So the Champions League is underway. Week 2. Not what happened, man. 2-0 loss against Sporting. It looked like a tight game. Richarlison, I thought, he had one goal called back, but what's going on with Conte's men? Yeah,
honestly, like Richarlison in both. Their last Prem game seems like forever ago with the games postponed last week. But he had one chalked off there. He had 2 in Champions League last week. But he's been a phenomenal player. Love him as a signing. I don't know, man. Honestly, I think, and it's just one of those systems where you live and die by the counter, you live and die by the transition. And when it's going well, it's going darn well. But when it doesn't, you just kind of got to buckle up. And I will say, like, people think that these high money teams like a Tottenham or other teams in the Prem are just going to steamroll others, especially when it comes to Champions League play. You get out. You're a Man U fan, man. You get it. Like, you've seen how it is. But on like Sporting, my friends who have seen what it's like that is an absolutely incredible atmosphere that is, is in Portugal. Like, honestly, one of those, like, I would love to go there and see it as a game. And you see those fans, what it means to them. Say what you want. Like, you cannot put a price on those home matches where they're everything when they're not supposed to win. That's like why we love this game. That's why we love soccer. That's why even like on Saturday, it was a tough loss, but that's why we love it, because you see the support. Like, I think that's kind of what the Champions League in an ideal world is. We, of course, the larger teams are going to end up winning more often than not. But when you see things like that, it kind of warms your heart. Not for me. My Tottenham heart is ice cold, but yeah, man, it was other than that, it was a pretty cool sight.
Yeah, hopefully they bounce back. There's still 4 games to go. We've seen stranger things happen, but they can do it. Definitely got the quality there. Another surprise that, or not surprise really, but Bayern, they beat Barcelona once again. Now, I don't know how much, you've taken account into these games, but I feel like Bayern is just Barcelona's kryptonite, man. 2-0 today. Over the last 4 matches, 16 goals in favor of Bayern, 2 in favor of Barcelona over the last 4 matches that they've had official. That's insane.
You said 16-2?
16-2, yeah.
Well, keep in mind, I mean, that was the 8-2 game. So outside of that one where they scored 2, had the goal difference of -6, haven't scored. That's insane. I mean, both teams are, which is actually very interesting because when you look at league play, like Barcelona has actually pulled on some pretty good results under Xavi, and Bayern. I mean, they're Bayern, like they're going to turn around. We never count them out, but like they're not even top of Bundesliga. Last I checked, I think that's Union Berlin. And yet, of course, Champions League, they steamroll them. And I mean, man, how sweet must have been for those Bayern players, Lewandowski, playing against them. It's like, you're going to talk that talk. Let's see how it goes for you. Not well.
Yeah, and Barcelona had chances. It's not like they didn't play well. They have Xavi. They're playing Xavi while they're doing their thing. But yeah, it's got to be good to kind of stick it to Lewandowski a little bit just because he left. But that's what happens in the Champions League, man. You never know. You never know what's going to happen. So, but yeah, some great stuff today. We got some more games tomorrow, and of course, Man U plays on Thursdays now. So that's not fun at all. But yeah, always a good time with the champions. All the European leagues are always a good time over there. All right, Max, let's talk about our friends at Four Peaks. There's some stuff going on this weekend. I'm sure you got the details for it. From my understanding, there's going to be a viewing party at Four Peaks. Am I correct this weekend?
You're darn right. Yeah, man, you're darn right there is. So yeah, Sunday the 18th, we're going to be doing a Cardinals watch party at Four Peaks. So pretty sweet deal there. It's going to be like $5 and you get save your spot on their 220-inch TV projector. You get a free beer while you come there. And it's just a good time, man. Like Cardinals, they had a tough go about it. You're playing Patrick Mahomes. Like, check out our PHNX Cardinals show. They got all the great deets about that. But tough go of it. Let's see how they do against the Raiders. Like I'm very much looking forward to a bounce back game. And Four Peaks have been awesome hosts. Like we're going to pack the place. No doubt about it. Sign up. Yep. There we go. Thank you, Shano. Sign up for the link in the description. Like I said, $5 plus we're doing Cardinals tickets giveaways. Like not just, and by the way, these aren't just like any sort of tickets. I'm pretty sure they're like end zone tickets. Like our guys at Four Peaks have that hookup. So like, please come on down. You could only win the giveaways if you're there in person. So sign up using the link, get yourself to a game, drink some beer, eat some amazing chicken tenders. I don't see the downside.
Yeah, no, I love that Four Peaks. They got the best food. The beer is outstanding. And again, if the PHNX Cardinals guys are going to be there, it's going to be a great time. So go check it out. It's going to be a fun time. And hopefully Cardinals are able to get a W because that was rough. That was rough on Sunday. But we'll see what happens. Right now, the Cardinals are actually they're the underdogs right now. They're +6 on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. So if you guys haven't downloaded it yet, make sure to do so. So that way you guys can make some money. I know sometimes the Cardinals lose. They don't play that well, but you guys can still make a little bit of money with our friends at DraftKings. But if you guys haven't yet, make sure to download the app. And when you bet just $5, you can get $200 in free bets instantly. Plus, everyone can experience the thrill of DraftKings with the early win promotion. So that means that if you bet on any NFL team to win, you have a chance to win as well. And also, if your team leads by 10 at any point during the game, that's when you get paid instantly. So even if your team loses, you still get that money. You still have fun with DraftKings. So make sure to download it. It's super simple. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use promo code PHNX. And that's, again, promo code PHNX on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. And minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. Make sure to check out the show notes for more details. But
man. No, I was gonna say, man, I won that coin on DraftKings actually on Thursday Night Football last week. Put down 25, won $300 on a little parlay action. Some receiving yards, some touchdowns over under with Cooper Kupp, Stephon Diggs, 250 yards, 2 combined touchdowns. Literally won it on like the third to last play. you can ask people in the office. I was freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, he needed 28 yards. He got 28 yards on the dot. And I was just like, let's go. But no, man, DraftKings is a great time. I'll plug another one of our shows. Follow Shane, our producer Shane, hosts the PHNX Bets show. If you're looking to get into sports betting, honestly, like there really is not a better show that like breaks down everything from whether you're a novice to a grizzled veteran. They got everything, but please check it out. And like I said, when you support DraftKings and you sign up with the code PHNX, you support us. So we really do appreciate y'all.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And you get to experience the thrill like Max just had on Thursday.
It makes it so much more interesting. Like it's not healthy, but it's fun.
I saw you guys. I was in the office on Thursday. Everybody was screaming. I was like, should I be involved with this? Because it's a fun time for sure. So
it is.
Make sure to download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. All right, Max. It's been a great show so far. Again, thank you so much for joining us. Great to have you here. But yeah, let's get to know you a little bit more. You know, I know people have heard your name and the other shows, and obviously you're involved here with all the promotions and all that good stuff. But you know, let's get to know you a little bit more. You're going to be helping us out for the rest of the season. So I want to make sure that our viewers here get to know who Max is. And so, yeah, tell us a little bit about you. How'd you get into soccer, and you know why you wanted to join PHNX Rising?
Oh, dude, I appreciate that, man. Yeah. So, you know, and the old cliche, playing soccer all my life, which I have. Like it's been
you've been at Benedict. Yeah,
it's true, man. No, it's since I was 4, I've been playing the sport, at different levels all throughout like high school, college. I should caveat, like I was not the best player, so like college was just like the beer leagues, but like that's always a good time. But no, man, played all around. I've definitely enjoyed it. Spent some time in my career at different parts, actually in the USL. This is dating myself, but like, man, I interned for Rising when they were still AZ United, like out in Peoria Sports Complex. And like, shoot, man, we had like Waz and like Long Tan and like Uche, like everyone. It's just cool to like see the team evolve and like completely such a different team from that place, of course. But it's just cool to see, like, I've always been wanting to like show that love for a local soccer team. Spent some time, like I said, on Saturday out in Reno, 1868 FC, RIP, for 3 years out of college, and then they folded. I made my way out here back home to Phoenix, and yeah, man, I've been rocking, in the partnerships role with our organization, with our fam, but I've just always wanted to like take more of a role in covering soccer. And like I said, like it kind of worked out. I've been kind of bugging Saul, Espo, and then, then was bugging like Owen and Ramon. It's like, hey, like, you guys think I'd kind of like hop on for a bit? And they're cool with it. So it's just been fun, man. I just like talking about soccer. I can talk about all the fun stuff. I try to bring a lot of the, kind of zoom out and be like, what would a player think here, or what's going on in this situation, and just talking about it from my perspective. I will say I also still play. I'm on the mend with a shoulder injury. But like, dude, Ramon, I like never hear you talk about it. Dude, if you guys don't know, Ramon is like, I've played against this guy. So we're in the same division in our Sunday soccer league. No, shut up, dude. No, so we play together in our Sunday soccer league. We played, I think, like 2 or 3 matches against each other. First off, like his team's always won, and it's by like a 1-0 scoreline or 2-1, just like such an infuriating thing. And I have seen this guy. I'm like, I look at Ramon and I'm like, I've seen him like warm up, and I'm like, okay, like whatever. And then I see him like he takes a touch out of the air, and it's like, dude, how, like this guy's got a touch. This guy's got some passes. Like, I'm gassing you up, dude. Like Ramon's got that. I appreciate it, man. Ramon's got that Ronaldo number 9, the classic little energy, man. Yeah.
No, me and my, if you guys weren't aware, the people watching the show, yeah, we've run into each other a few times over there at the Tempe Sports League and at Benedict Park, which is, that's actually, we met that first time and you were sliding. There's not even grass on the ground, man.
Okay, dude, I regret that immediately. Okay, no, this is very common knowledge, but don't slide on grass when there is no grass. So yeah.
There you go. But you gotta respect the hustle, man. He's out there fighting, and like you said, I think we faced off a few times. I think my team's gotten the better of his in those occasions, but it's always a fun time, and I respect it. When you're out on the field, you kind of build a bond with the guys, because you typically see them in other leagues and in other seasons as well. So that's how I kind of get to. I didn't even know Max was working or was playing. I was like, I knew who he was from PHNX, but when I saw him on the field, I'm like, yo, is that Max from I was like, what the heck? So it was a good time.
Dude, I remember it was actually like the last one of the times, I don't think we were facing each other. You guys just left. You guys just finished the game. We were about to start. It was the last day of the Premier League. And that was when like Man City and Liverpool were playing their games side by side. And we're like, oh gosh, like this could be the swap. And it was just crazy, man. Like that's in a nutshell why I love the sport, why I love talking about it, is because you literally meet a bunch of random people and it brings everyone together. And like, you can't put a price on that, man. I love that shit.
Yeah, for sure. And then, I obviously grew up in Mexico for part of my life. So over there, soccer is everywhere. You get out of school, you go play soccer. You're watching the game on the weekend. Your mom, your dad, they have allegiances to whatever team they're from. And when I moved over here, it was hard to find people to play with. It's not like in Mexico where you just go out to the barrio and you just kick the ball around. Here, you got to set a play day and you got to sign up for a team. It's like you can't just go and kick the ball. So when I got older, I was looking for that community because I knew people play. I knew people watch the sport. And I think now, thanks to social media and all this technology, I think it's easier to find those people in the community. So I really like meeting people like you and other people that I've gotten to meet because, like I said, this sport is here to stay. It's going to continue to grow. You got the 2026 World Cup coming up. So, I was 1 year old when the 94 World Cup happened. But that boost that they got from that World Cup, imagine that today, or in a few years, with the 2026 World Cup. So this sport is growing, man. And I think, if you hop on the bandwagon right now, you're only going to see those dividends. If you're covering the sport, if you're talking about it, if you're meeting people, it's just going to be a great time, man. So it's going to be awesome.
Sure. Well, I was going to say, dude, like it's kind of even like, well, with Rising supporting your local team, people know, everyone in our chat, I bet everyone can attest it. It takes one time. You show up to one game, you're hooked. Like you don't need to explain it, even if you don't know what's going on immediately. You go up one time, and that's all you need, and you're just absolutely hooked in. And like I think the more the game grows, I am excited to see like more like USL teams and other local teams kind of get their shine, and people, whether people aren't going to be quite like us or what you guys do, but like I love to see the coverage continue to grow and seeing that, everywhere from the Premier League, the Champions League, all the way to like USL, Championship, League One, League Two, all that stuff. Like it's cool to see soccer growing as an absolute whole. And it's just going to be a heck of a 4 years plus and onward, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. And, shout out to everybody in the chat. The Bandidos have been super welcoming, the support group for Rising. And whenever I'm at that south end or near the south end, they're always saying hello and getting crazy, getting rowdy. And I think that's what people really enjoy about being a fan of Phoenix Rising or attending the event, because not only you get to watch, great soccer on the field, but the atmosphere and the crowd, that hooks you in, that feeling that you get when you're down there. So it's awesome.
Absolutely. And like one of my favorite things I'm already looking forward to is when we play Wales in the World Cup, and I'm just going to talk a bunch of crap to Owen.
Yeah, go for it. It'll be a good time, man. I'm really looking forward to this World Cup. It's going to be a fun time. I'm not sure how Mexico's going to do. I'll just leave it up to that. But it's a fun time. It happens every 4 years. There's no other sporting event like it. If you're not with it, if you've never watched soccer, this is a time to kind of sit down, hook and get hooked by it, because there's so many, nations competing, a lot of players that, are representing their nation. It's one of the most prestigious events in the world. So it's great to see. And we'll see what happens. But yeah, that Wales, that whole group, US, Wales, England, that's just whole stuff going on there.
It is. Yes. Then we'll leave it at that. But yeah, a lot of stuff.
Shout out to Owen. It's gonna be a good time with that Wales game. But yeah, Max. So we got a few minutes here. But yeah, obviously Tottenham is your favorite Premier League. But do you have other teams that you're into right now at the MLS or anywhere else in the world?
Yeah, man. I mean, I try to watch a little bit of everything. Like I said, like I've had ties to USL. I've followed Prem, La Liga, Bundesliga, MLS. Like if there's a I don't know. I try not to be a soccer snob. If there's a game going on, I'll watch it. Like love watching the Open Cup. Enjoy. I always probably Premier League is the one I'm most tuned in on during like a weekend morning. But I'll watch everything. I try to get a handle on things as best I can. But no, like it's cool to see players progress and move on and stuff. Like I do much. I like the Joshua Cohen in Maccabi Haifa. That's a cool story. Nice little thread there. Need those DK odds on what? Okay, get out of here. This guy is just trolling from the root canal. no, but I, just follow a little bit here and there. And like I said, I try to learn the most from just playing and, kind of taking that perspective.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Well, again, Max, happy to have you here with us for the rest of the season, and looking forward to everything. You have amazing knowledge right off the bat, so glad to have you here on the show.
Thanks, man.
Before we wrap up, Max, I do want to let people know about our other partner, Gametime. Gametime, if you guys haven't downloaded it, make sure to do so. There's only 2 games left in the Rising season, so if you haven't gotten the opportunity to take your friends, your family to one of the Rising games, make sure to use the Gametime app. We have a link for you on the show notes. Make sure to use that link. Download the app. Get some tickets for your friends and family. That way we can, kind of, see you guys out there at the game. Like Bonnie was saying, there was over 8,000 people at the game on Saturday, which was a great crowd. I know it's getting a little bit cooler, so I think people might, want to go out and enjoy an event. But if you guys haven't yet, make sure to check out the Gametime app. Download it. It's a great app to find tickets, not only for sporting events, but for concerts, other sort of stuff going on. And you can get up to 60% off on your tickets. So make sure to check them out. I'm wearing my Coyote shirt, because me and Leah, I told her I want to go to a Coyotes game. It's down the street from me, but I know those tickets are insanely priced. So I'm hopefully Gametime can help me up a little bit. Hook me up a little bit and get those cheap tickets for one of the
Coyotes. Man, no, and it's a cool platform. Like I've kind of checked out, you can buy tickets up to like 90 minutes after a game starts. So like if you're a super procrastinator, you actually get rewarded for it. And I think Owen said he was looking on the app on Saturday's match. Tickets were like $4. And that's like including the tax and everything like that, man. So like if you the way to both help us out and save that money is through the link in our show notes. That's really how you support us. We do appreciate that. But yeah, man, like come out, check it out. And especially, I'm kind of going to put this out there because I've been talking, Ramon, I've been talking to you and Owen about it. And I'm kind of going to put this out there to be like, let's make it happen. But we really want to do something special for that last game. We want to meet you guys out there. We want to like really help make that last game, no matter what happens, no matter where Rising is in the season, we want to make that something special. So like, please come out to these last 2 matches.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, make sure to use that link in the show notes. And again, if you got people that just want to go to a game, it's cheaper than going to the movies. If you're seeing $4 tickets, man, take your family, have a good time, hang out with the Bandinos, hang out with Max, myself, and Owen, and just have a great time over there supporting our local club. All right, Max, that wraps it up for us today. Thank you so much for joining me. I know Owen's on demand. Owen, I know you're in the chat, but here you go. He gave us the odds. Wales to win the group, Iran to qualify at plus 28.25. Yeah, so. If you want to make some money,
I'm not taking Iran. No,
I don't think a lot of people will, but we'll see. All right, Max, we will be back on Thursday. We're gonna have back Owen, hopefully back with us, and we might be. I'm hearing rumors we might be in the brand new studio. So
I know you checked it out, but have you? That's right. You guys haven't done a show in there yet. Okay.
I've been in a minute.
Let's go.
I want to check out all that more furniture. I know they hooked it up, so I want to make sure.
Bonus read, man. I see you. I like that.
All right, yeah. Thank you to everybody in the chat here. Bonnie, BJ, Thomas, Michael, everybody that's always supporting us. We will be back on Thursday, and again, hopefully in the studio, and we're going to break down the game against San Diego that's coming up on Saturday. Until then, thank you so much for joining us, and have a great rest of your night. Take care.
Cheers.